What's up guys, welcome back to Toon Duelists. In this video I'm going to show you a basic combo of our Gladiator Beast deck profile, and afterwards we're going to draw some test hands to show you how this deck really performs. If you haven't checked out already, please check out our deck profile with the link in the description. And yeah, if you haven't already, consider liking and subscribing please, this would really help us a lot. And without further ado, let's dive right into it. So for our first basic combo, we need only our Gladiator Beast Gistle, a random Gladiator Beast, and any other card to this card. So basically a 1.5 card combo. So how does this whole thing work? We of course activate the effect of our Gistle in hand. We special summon our Gladiator Beast and we special summon our Gistle. This will activate Gistle's effect to let us add one Flavian to our hand. Next we use those two, link them away for our Test Panther. Now we can activate Test Panther's effect to add a card from our deck to our hand, which is going to be our comeback right here. Next, we're going to activate our Flavian, activate its effect, discard a card to add a Gladiator Beast, which is going to be our Noxious. Next, we're going to activate Comeback, bring back our Andal or random Gladiator Beast monster. Now we use Test Panther's effect, shuffle it into the deck to special summon from our deck our Justice. This will activate our Justice effect and we can special summon from our hand, which is of course going to be our Noxious. Next we're going to activate Noxious effect. It was summoned by a Gladiator Beast, so we dump a Gladiator Beast from our deck to our grave, which is going to be our Equest. Next we're going to Contact Fuse, shuffle those two back into the deck to bring out our Gladiator Beast Tamer Editor. And of course we're going to activate our Tamer's effect to special summon one Dominicianus from our extra deck. So from this point on we're monster effect proof, hand trap proof, which is already pretty amazing. Next we can link those two away to summon out our brand new Gladiator Beast Darius. The Reyes effect will activate, of course, and we can bring back our previously dumped Equest. This will activate Equest's effect and we can add back our Comeback to our hand. Now before we activate Comeback, we have to get rid of our Darius because it's also a Beast Warrior. I'll explain that in a second. So we just link those away into our Dragasis, a Winged Beast. This is important because, of course, you have to remember with Comeback you can only summon from the grave a Gladiator Beast with a different type than the monsters you control. Sea Serpent right here, Winged Beast right here, which means we can bring back our Tamer Editor with Gladiator Comeback. Next we can of course activate Editor's effect, and now you can choose if you want to bring out another Dominicianus or a Heraclinus. I'm just going to go with Heraclinus right here because of course we have two more cards in hand, so plenty cards to discard for his effect. Next we're once again linking those two away to bring out another Darius. And since we now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Gladiator Beasts in our grave, we can shuffle those back into the decks to bring out our brand new Claudius. We can now activate Claudius' effect so we can conduct our next battle phase twice, which is still just crazy to think about. And of course, in the end phase, we can set a Gladiator Beast trap, for example, our charge right here. So, what's the field with this very, very basic combo? We have one monster negate, one spell trap negate. When our opponent activates a monster effect, we can special summon from our extra deck, for example, another Dominicianus to have another monster negate, or a Gisarus, which lets us pop 2 cards on the field, so another interruption, or we bring out another negate. We have our Darius, which keeps our Gladiator Beasts from being destroyed by battle or card effects in the battle phase. We still have our Flavian, which lets us extend during our opponent's battle phase, and we of course have our Charge, which lets us just at this point pop 4 cards during our opponent's turn. Just crazy good and board If you ask me, this is nuts. Guys, I could go on and show you even more combos that have even crazier endboards than the first real basic one, but I think we'll just draw some test hands to show you how this thing really performs. And let's start with our first test hand. Alright, that's very interesting. Now in this case, first thing we're going to do is to activate our Proving Ground to add our Adderix to our hand. Now next thing we can do is activate Raw, name Andal, and special summon from our deck one Gladiator Beast Andal, purple one this time. And I'm glad this happened because Gistle plus Adderix is a number combo I wanted to show you anyways, but here's my chance. So we activate Gistle's effect in hand, we special summon Adderix and Gistle. Now we can activate Chain 1, Chain 2, the effects of those two. Gistle is going to Foolish one of our Gladiator Beasts, which is going to be our Augustus. And Gistle will let us add a Gladiator Spell or Trap, which is going to be our comeback. Now, since we control 2 Beast Warriors and 1 Beast Monster, and Augustus is a Winged Beast, we can activate Comeback to bring back our Augustus. Now, our Adderix took on the level of our Augustus, so we can contact fuse those two away into our Tamer Editor. Now, we can activate Editor's effect to special summon from our deck our Dominicianus. And from this point on, we're nip proof. If we didn't bring out our Andal, it would also be before the 5th summon. Now, next up, we link away our Tamer Editor and our Gistle. Now, keep this in mind. You always want to get rid of your Tamer, or better said, you always want to get it into the grave so you can reuse it as many times as possible. And we're going to go into our Test Panther. Another thing I want to mention, I want to keep our Andal out of this combo as far as I can go, just to show you how the basic combo Adderix plus Gistle works. So now we can use Test Panther's effect to add a Gladiator Beast card, which is going to be our field spell Flavian. We of course activate Flavian, activate its effect, discard a card, and this time our Gistle number 2 to add our Adderix once again. Could basically actually be any Gladiator Beast, doesn't really matter at this point. And of course, since we have Andal, I would not have to do this. I just want to show you the basic combo as I mentioned. So now we normal summon Adderix. We use Test Panther's effect. We shuffle it back into the deck to bring out our Equest. This will now activate Equest's effect, and we can add back from our grave our comeback. Now, in this case, we actually do have the problem that our Andal is a Beast Warrior monster, and we want to bring back our Tamer Editor, which is also a Beast Warrior. So in this case, we have to get rid of Andal first. So what we're just going to do is going to link those two away into our Dragases. Winged Beast doesn't bother us. Now we can activate our comeback. Remember, I wouldn't have to do this step if it wasn't for Andal, but now we can bring back our Editor. Now we can use Editor's effect once again to bring back another Dominicianus or another Heraclinus. I'm just going to go with Heraclinus right here. And next we want to bring our Tamer Editor into the grave once again. So we're going to use Equest and Tamer Editor to bring out our Darius. Now the Darius effect will activate, and we can special summon back from our grave our Equest, which is not a once per turn, so it effect will activate and we can add comeback back once again. Now you know the deal, we have to get rid of the Reyes Beast Warrior, so we go into another link summon into our Shuraik the Omen, and now we can activate our comeback once again to bring back Tamer Editor. We can use Tamer Editor's effect to special summon from our extra deck our second Dominicianus. 2 monster negates now on the field. This is just crazy good. Now we need more space right here, so we're going to link those two away one more time for our second copy of the Reyes to bring it out, just so we have enough space for one last monster, because we're going to shuffle 1, 2, 3, let's say 4, 5 Gladiator Beasts into the decks to bring out our big bad Claudius. We can now use Claudius' effect to conduct our battle phase twice next time we have one. And yeah, guys, that's pretty much where we end our turn. In the end phase, of course, Flavian will activate and we can set our charge. Now, what do we have on field? Now, of course, it's a little bit unlucky that we have no monster zone left, but actually not too bad, okay? So you can't use Claudius effect during your opponent's turn. That's a bit of a shame. But what do we have right here? We have a spell trap negate with Call by the Grave by discarding. We have 2 monster negates. We have an interruption where we can pop up to 5 cards on the field. We are safe from our Gladiator Beasts, are safe from being destroyed by battle or card effects during the battle phase. We still have our Shurak, so if he manages to get rid of one of our Gladiator Beasts, we can special summon with Claudius once again, and our Shurak can then banish a card on the field. As you can see, just amazing end board right here. Alright guys, test hand number 2. Let's see what we can do. Alright, now that one is interesting, but definitely doable. We're going to activate our Proving Ground to add, of course, our best combo starter, which is going to be our Gistel. Next, we activate Gistel's effect to summon Noxious and Gistel. Noxious effect will activate and we can Foolish our Augustus, and Gistel will add our Comeback. Now we still have a Beast Warrior and a Beast on the field, so we can activate our Comeback to bring back Augustus. Now we can contact fuse those 2, level 5 or higher, for our very first summon of Tamer Editor. We can use Editor's effect to bring out Dominicianus. Next, we're going to link those 2 away into our Test Panther. We activate Test Panther's effect on summon to add Flavian. We activate Flavian, activate its effect now. We discard our, let's say Andal, to add, let's say, Adderix. We normal summon Adderix. Next, we use Test Panther's effect and we shuffle back our Adderix into the deck to bring out our Equest. Equest's effect will activate and we can add back our Comeback. Now we can already activate Comeback, bring back our Tamer Editor, use Editor's effect to bring out another Dominicianus. Next, we link those 2 away into our Reyes. The Reyes effect will activate and we can bring back Equest, and Equest's effect will activate to bring back Comeback. Now, of course, we have to get rid of the Reyes and Tamer, so we use those 2 for Dragazes. Now we have Sea Serpents and Windbeats on the field, which means we can activate Comeback, bring back Tamer one more time, activate Tamer's effect to bring out our Heraclinus. And since we want to keep Heraclinus, there's no need of recycling our Comeback anymore, because he's a Beast Warrior, and if we recycle it, we can't bring back our Tamer. So what are we going to do now? We're going to link those 2 away into our second copy. This is why it is so important to run another Reyes. And we use the Reyes and Dragazes for Shurak. And that's basically our end board. We can, of course, set our Called by the Grave, or you maybe want to keep it in hand for your Heraclinus. And in the end phase, of course, with Colosseum, we can set our charge. So what do we have on field? Now, we have 1, 2 monster negates and pops. We have another monster negate with Effect Veiler, which we can, with Heraclinus, turn into 1 or 2 spell and trap negates. We have Shurak and, oh my god, let me check. I totally forgot, of course, one of our most important monsters we have to bring out. How could I forget? We shuffle 5 Gladiator Beasts back into our deck, of course, to bring out Claudius. My bad. Of course we do. So we have Claudius on field, which gives us a second battle phase the next time we do have a battle phase. So we still have Claudius. So when our opponent activates effect, we can bring out a Gezaris, pop 2 during our opponent's turn, and it's a Winged Beast, so Shurak would trigger, and we can banish another card. So, as you can see, just crazy end boards. We still have our charge, can pop up to 5 cards. This is just amazing. This deck is so nuts, I tell you. Alright guys, last test hand. Test hand number 3. Let's see. Right, starting off great right here. First thing we want to do is, of course, activate Roar. So we can bring out our Andal, blue armor this time. We can actually just go into our Link Spider. And then we can use Gistel's effect. We special summon Darius and Gistel. Chain 1, chain 2. Darius will bring back our Andal, and Gistel will add us our comeback. Now, next thing we're going to do is we're going to link those two away for our Test Panther. Test Panther's effect will activate to add a copy of Flavian. Next, we use Test Panther's effect. Let's activate Flavian first. We activate its effect, discard to add a Gladiator Beast monster, which is going to be, let's just say Adderix. We didn't have a normal summon, maybe it's useful. Now we're going to activate Test Panther's effect. We shuffle it into the deck to bring out Augustus. This will now activate Augustus effect, and we can special summon the Adderix from our hand, and this will activate Adderix effect, and we can foolish our Noxious, making Adderix a level 5, and you know what that means. Contact fusion with those two into our Tamer Editor. Tamer Editor's effect, and we bring out our first Dominicianus. Next thing we're going to do is we link our Tamer and our Panther into our first copy of the Reyes. The Reyes effect will activate, and we can special summon from our grave our Gistel, for example, which is just important not to summon back another Beast Warrior, because we want to activate our comeback, of course, but first we have to get rid of the Reyes for sure, so we're going to use Gistel and the Reyes for Dragaces. Now we can use comeback. We bring back Tamer Editor. We use Tamer's effect to special summon. Actually, we're going to activate or special summon our Heraclinus. We could go for a second Dominicianus here, but I'm sure we're not going to go as full power as we did before, so we want to have the spell trap negate. Next, we're going to link those two away for our second Darius, which is why it is so important. Now we link those two away for our Shuraik. And now we, of course, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, shuffle those back into the deck to bring out Claudius. Activate its effect, so we have the second battle phase, and that's where we end our turn pretty much. Let me check real quick. Yes, we are going to. And what do we have? In the end phase, of course, we have charge. So, what's our end board? First, I think I forgot to mention this on the test hands before. We have Roar, of course, and since we have our Andal in grave, once our opponent normal summons a monster with 1900 or less attack, we can just pop it with Roar. Next, with Claudius, we can special summon from our deck our second Dominicianus, for example, or our Gezeris for popping 2 cards, which will either way trigger our Ominous Omen to banish a card. We have a monster negate. We have a spell trap negate if we get rid of our Ghost Ogre, or we can just use our Ghost Ogre, of course. And then we have charge, which just at the moment lets us pop 3 cards once we activate it. We have Flavian, which lets us extend when our opponent activates or declares an attack. With Dominicianus, I think I forgot to mention that too. We choose where our opponent attacks. These boards are just crazy, guys. I tell you, this deck is so powerful. I can't believe it. Just amazing. I love everything about it. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed. Of course, let me know what you think about this deck. If you have any suggestions, hit the comments. We love to read and answer your comments, of course. Then, if you like the content, please consider liking and subscribing. This would really help us a lot. And yeah, until next time guys, have a good one.